Hello everyone, my name is Jane and welcome to the DessertAthon Announcement. I'm so excited to be here today and to announce the DessertAthon. Basically, this is a month-long readathon that is going to take place in June, and there is a very fun story about this readathon and how it was created. Basically, every year there is the DessertAthon, which is a desert-inspired books readathon that was created by Esme from Bookish Buddies. This readathon takes place every year on May, so currently this readathon is active, and like you can maybe see, the DessertAthon and the DessertAthon, both of them are names that are very similar to each other. Basically, the DessertAthon was the first inspiration for the DessertAthon because of the name and because it's funny, but the DessertAthon itself is a readathon that is based on desserts, because who doesn't like desserts? And I personally feel like it's going to be the perfect way to start the summer with a really sweet readathon. So basically, Esme from Bookish Buddies, Megan from Mythical Megan, Ashley from Fiction and Fantasy, Mariana from Lucifer Library, and Eric from Break Even Books, and I, all of us decided to do together this DessertAthon. And like I said, this readathon is going to take place in June, from June 1st until June 30th. So basically a full month for this readathon. And how the readathon works is that we basically have 6 teams, a host for every team. And your main goal in this readathon is to collect as many points as possible and to basically make your team the winning team. Now you can collect points by completing prompts. And those prompts are basically ingredients that then you can use them to make recipes. And I know it sounds very complicated, but I'm going to explain everything. But before we'll get to all the explanation, I want to mention that we also have a Twitter and also a Discord. We are going to be very active in both, so please make sure to check the Twitter and the Discord. And of course, the link to the other host channels are also going to be in the video description, so be sure to also check them out. But yes, let's get to the main explanation of this readathon. There is going to be a lot of them, so I think that let's just start. And before I will get to the prompts and the ingredients and the recipes, I want to talk about the teams themselves. We have 6 teams in the DessertAthon, and basically every team is based on a different dessert, which is so fun. And the thing is that also every team has a special genre. You don't have to complete your team's genre, it's just another way to gain extra points if you want to. But let me introduce to you the teams themselves, and let me go by the order. The first team is Red Velvet Royals, and this team leader is Ashley from Fiction and Fantasy, and this team genre is retellings and myths. So basically, if you are reading a retelling and you are in the Red Velvet Royals, you will gain more points because you read a retelling, but you don't have to read retellings if you don't want to. The second team is Spicy Shortcakes, and this is Mariana's team. This team genre is spicy or steamy books, so if you love to read them, you can join this team. The next team is my team, the Cozy Cookies, and basically my team genre is romance, contemporaries, cozy mysteries, just cozy books, and I'm so excited to be the leader of this team. I also wore purple to represent the Cozy Cookies team. Now the next team is the Pastry Pirates, and this team leader is Megan, and basically this team genre is adventurous books. The next one is Dessert Jeans, and this team leader is Esme. Maybe you can guess it because she's hosting the DessertAthon, so Desert Jeans, I feel like it's fitting. And this team genre is dark books, basically dark fantasy, horror, or mystery. And finally, the final team is Celestial Cupcakes, and this is Eric's team, and this team genre is sci-fi or dystopia. So yes, basically you can choose any team you want to be on. If you want to use this extra point bonus by reading your team genre, it will be amazing, but again, you don't have to read your team genre, but if you will read it, you will just gain more points. And now let's get to the prompts themselves, which are the ingredients. Basically, how everything is going to work is that you can complete prompts, and those prompts are ingredients. You are getting points for every prompt that you complete. It means that if you want to read only one book in the readathon and to complete only one prompt, you will gain points by completing this prompt, so you don't even have to get to the recipes if you don't want to. But this is just a fun way to add more challenge to the readathon. So basically you have ingredients, and once you complete the ingredients prompt, you can basically own these ingredients and then use them to make recipes. Now I'm going to explain everything about the recipes soon. We have 6 recipes that represent every team. You don't have to do your team recipe, you can do which recipe you want, but I will talk about it soon. Now let me explain the prompts themselves, the ingredients. So in total, we have 20 ingredients, basically 20 prompts, and we have basic ingredients and unique ingredients. Now, all the ingredients are gaining the same amount of points, and the thing with them is that you can't double them up, but you can reuse them multiple times. And what I mean is that, for example, if you're completing the prompt for salt, now you have salt. It means that if you have enough ingredients and you want to complete multiple recipes, and in all of those recipes there is salt, you don't need to complete the prompt of salt multiple times. If you have salt, you have salt. You can reuse it in how many recipes you need to, but you don't ever need to complete salt again. And that being said, you can't read one book and count it as multiple prompts. So basically you can double up the prompts themselves. You can't read a book and count it as multiple ingredients, but once you read one book and count it as one ingredient, this ingredient is yours. You don't need to complete it. And like you can understand, basic ingredients are ingredients that you usually see multiple times because the recipes are actually based on real life recipes. And this is just realistic that things like milk and flour, you will see them multiple times in recipes. And the unique ingredients are just usually ingredients that you are seeing only in one recipe. But I hope that you understand like the general idea. You're just completing prompts, and then you can use the ingredients that you gained to basically make recipes. And again, if you want, you can read only one book, complete only one prompt. You don't even have to get to the recipe part, but this is the fun part. So just be aware that there isn't any minimum for you to participate in this readathon. You can read how much you want, and you can decide how much you want to make this readathon challenging for you. Now I'm going to move a little bit to the side because I want to show the prompts to you. Those are the basic ingredients, and the prompts in general are pretty easy to understand, so I won't go over any one of them. Those are just things like butter, slippery, keep sliding off your TBR, or flour, back to basics, favorite genre. I just don't want to make this announcement super long, so those are just the prompts, and of course the graphics and the prompts themselves, everything will be linked in the video description, so you can always check them again. And those are unique ingredients, just more fun and unique stuff like apples in season, set in summer or autumn, chocolate chips, Bookaholic, guilty pleasure. It's pretty self-explanatory. If you have any questions, you can always ask us in the Twitter and the Discord, but those are just the ingredients themselves. And now let's talk about the recipes. Basically, there is 6 recipes. Every recipe is based on a different group, but how the recipes are going to work is that you don't have to complete your team recipe. You can do which recipe you want, and every recipe that you will complete will gain you a lot of points. So completing recipes is very good because the major points are there. But the thing is that your team's recipe will gain you extra points. So basically you can complete every recipe you want, but if you will complete your team's recipe, you will gain even more points than a regular recipe. So we personally encourage you to try and complete your team's recipe because it will gain you the most amount of points, and it's just the easier way to gain a lot of points. But again, you don't have to complete it if you don't want to, but just because there is a lot of prompts, it will be really hard to try to complete everything because it will be 20 different books. But my personal goal is to complete, first of all, my team recipe, and every recipe except it will be a bonus for me. So just play this readathon however you want, but we encourage you to try and complete your team's recipe. Now let's go over the recipes themselves. The first recipe is the recipe of the Red Velvet Royals, and this is red velvet cake, very fitting for the theme. I really love the graphics of all the recipes, it just looks amazing. The next recipe is for the spicy shortcake steam, and this is a strawberry shortcake. It's just so cute, I really love the graphics. Now the recipe for my team, the cozy cookies, is the chocolate chip cookies, which again is very fitting, and I'm really excited to complete those prompts and to make this recipe. And now for the pastry pirates, the recipe is apple turnover, and for the desert jeans, the recipe is baklava, and finally for the celestial cupcakes, the recipe is a chocolate cupcake. So yes, I hope that until now everything is understandable for you. We basically just have ingredients, prompts, and then you can make recipes. You don't have to if you want to, but this is the general idea. And I want to go over the points system and basically how points can you gain from everything. Now the first thing is that if you are reading a book in your team's genre, you will gain 2 points. It's not a lot of points, it's a little bonus. Again, you don't have to read your team's genre. This is just a bonus you will get if you will read it. And now for every ingredient prompt that you're completing, you're getting 5 points. So basically the prompts are the main thing. You need to complete them first before you can even get to the recipes, but for every prompt that you complete, you will gain 5 points. And now the recipes themselves. Like I said, the major points are here. For every recipe that you complete, you will gain 50 points. It means in addition to the points that you already gained from the prompts themselves. So if, for example, you need 6 ingredients to have a recipe, you will gain 40 points by completing 6 prompts, and then you will gain another 50 points by completing the recipe. And the last point is your team's recipe. If you complete your team's recipe, you will gain 80 points and not 50, which is a big difference. So again, we encourage you to try to complete your team's recipe, but you don't have to. This is just the most easy way to gain more points. And yes, I think it was everything. Like I already said, we have also a Twitter, also a Discord, so be sure to join us there because we are going to be very active and all of the updates and everything is going to be there. And like I already said, also the other host channels are linked in the video description. Their channels are just so amazing and so fun to watch, so I definitely recommend checking the other host channels out. And like I said, also the graphics and all the information about the readathon is going to be in a doc that I'm going to link in the video description, so you can always go back to the graphics and to see again the prompts and the recipes. I want to make a shout out for Megan for making those amazing graphics. All the graphics are just so amazing and beautiful and just so summery and fun. I already said it, but I really feel like it will be the best way to start the summer with a really fun and sweet readathon, and I'm just so excited for it, and I really hope that you will join us in the DessertAthon. If you have any questions, you can ask here or on the Twitter or on the Discord. And yes, I just really hope that you will join us, and I will see you in the next video. Bye everyone!